From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, author and radio host, Sandra Tsing Low. With Gina Grad on news and Bald Brian on sound effects. And now, non-birthing person, Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but a mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That is right.
And Bald Brian.
I'm yo daddy.
Well, speaking of that, Dawson has brought in a bounty from his garden.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yes, a horn of plenty. Tomatoes, zucchinis or cucumbers?
Zucchini.
Zucchini. Zucchinis grow well. And
They're like a weed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let them go too long. They're like people. Too small, no good. Too big, freakishly bad. Mm-hmm. You want that sweet zucchini spot, right? You got to get them.
The zucchini window.
You leave them alone, man. They just become like a bouncer with a new XL sweatsuit, man. They just keep going. I when I moved into my first house, that was one of the first things I did. It's like, I'm starting a garden. And zucchini was one of them. And there's a couple of them I just let them go, and they just became the size of like a shoebox. And
so what do you do with it? Is it bad?
It's a mealy mess when it gets that big.
Yeah.
No! Can I please say, first of all, I enjoy that we're all in jewel tones, but I am enjoying that particular shade of blue on you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Is that new?
Yes.
I can tell, and I like it a lot.
You know it's new because I've only worn it 9 times.
That's right.
You turned his Adidas jacket inside out.
It's sort of a royal blue. It's sort of a I don't know, cyan.
Midnight blue?
I'm enjoying it.
It's becoming.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Your summer look.
Brian, you look fine.
So a couple things. Sandra Lowe is going to come on. Sing Low, I guess.
Sing low.
She's. I got it.
I'll keep going.
Keep going. The Bitch is Back is the name of her show. It's a one-woman show, and we'll take a look at that and talk to her about that. Yes.
It's you can't find it online anymore, but her she used to have this amazing, I won't even call it a show, but like a segment on the radio called The Low Life. And she would do these beautiful sort of stories about like what's going on in her life and her kids and her family. And I have adored her for so many years. This is very exciting.
Well, good. We'll play a clip of her on Mar recently. And
this is her explaining menopause.
Her explaining menopause on Mar.
So instead of menopause being the change, it's actually the return. Your hormone levels scientifically are the same as they are as a preteen girl. So you're actually returning to where you were as a 12-year-old when you were like a normal person before the estrogen cloud came down and you started like cutting up sandwiches for people and folding socks and getting, food for able-bodied people who can get their own fucking food. And so, like at 8:46, when that estrogen does this, you go, what the fuck have I been doing? Get your own fucking sandwiches, and that's when the leg of lamb goes out the window. So it is when the woman returns to normalcy. She becomes the same narcissistic. Am I going up? I'm going we become normal.
You're demonstrating.
You get me a sandwich.
Security.
I'm sorry.
As a menopausal woman.
Yeah, I need it. Sorry.
What are you talking about?
As someone who's only ever heard her on public radio, that was jarring. A lot of F-bombs.
Well, be prepared for some pod bombs.
I can't wait.
So we'll talk to her about that.
She was like famously fired by KCRW for dropping the F-bomb.
I love her.
That must have been a long time ago. I don't feel
2004.
I don't feel like it's a fireable offense anymore, an F-bomb.
Yeah, so I can read you like the sentence she used it in, because she meant to do an intentional bleep.
Right.
So she did say it, but the engineer forgot to bleep it.
And she got canned?
All right.
So the line was, my husband, my soulmate, my roommate of 15 years. He sleeps late, doesn't listen, and moves my stuff around. But he does play guitar for Bette Midler on her massive new stage show. There are times when he stands within 5 feet of her. So I guess I have to fuck him. Because you know what? It's finally dawned on me. This tour, and then it's just ... So it was supposed to get bleeped.
It's on the engineer, Dawson.
Yep.
Speaking of that, so veggies. You're growing veggies. You're bringing them in. I notice you this may divide the nation, but I like a Roma tomato.
Sure.
And or I like a beefsteak tomato. The round ones, not the grape
plum
size ones.
size.
Not the plum size ones. Even the medium golf ball, slightly bigger than a golf ball size round ones. I feel the skin is too thin. I like the meat.
Anything smaller than an
skin.
heirloom, you're playing with fire.
Right.
Yeah, I don't recall what they called these tomatoes, but the selection at the Home Depot when I got them months ago, they had one.
No.
You
kind
raise
of
them
tomato
from
plant.
seedlings?
No, the plant was like
A
a
little
stalk 1 foot tall, probably. Put it in the ground. Now it's 4 feet tall. There are at least 70 green tomatoes on it right now, like 3 or 4 ripen every day, and then just set them on the counter until they turn nice and red. They're juicy. They're so good.
Chicken or rabbit wire around?
No, I don't really have a problem with squirrels or anything
Wow.
like that. My dogs get in the garden, but
Sure.
just to get me to throw toys for them when I'm
Yeah,
working in there.
got a little problem with Mexicans, but the chicken wire doesn't really keep them back at bay.
I got green onions. I got blueberries that are going nuts.
Nice.
Radishes, cabbage.
Damn.
Victory
What are
garden.
the little tomatoes called?
Cherry?
Cherry
Pearl?
tomatoes. Got a ton of those.
Not a cherry tomato guy.
Well, you don't like
They're
the
good in
explosion.
salads, but they're tough to get with your fork.
You got to cut them in
Homoerotic.
half for the salad.
All right. Now, here's the big question, and does anyone know what I'm talking about? The huge green caterpillars that would show up on the tomato vines.
Yeah,
Sure.
they're kind of furry.
Yeah.
They're more just meaty and green and huge.
I don't know,
and
but
they're
okay.
huge and oversized. Do you have those, Dawson?
I believe there is one somewhere in that bushy tomato plant because one of the tomatoes that I picked had a hole of the approximate size of one of those.
Well,
so,
Dawson, I can confirm that one of the tomatoes you gave me, there was a little friend inside, and he was super cute. I didn't eat it, but I did put him outside. So yeah, they and he was little, so they do get in there. Can I give one quick?
Well,
little,
the ones that
yeah.
get big get grotesquely big.
I'm so glad I didn't see that
Yes.
shit. What I did with Dawson's zucchini last time is I just took a carrot peeler, like a regular vegetable peeler, and just peeled it all the way down so they were ribbons, and then did an NSNG chicken Alfredo. So you can just literally, you don't have to get a spiralizer, just peel it like ribbons and use that instead.
I wanted to know, Gina, if you could make zucchini sticks, like fried zucchini sticks. Try that.
I've
Figure
never
that out,
done
let me know.
I will. I've never done zucchini because you have to sweat zucchini, but I'll do it for you.
Sweet.
Do it and do the homemade ranch sauce.
You got it.
With
Now
it.
you're talking.
All right. Well, the top 10 on Sports Center has been corrupted.
Oh, come on.
Yes, in
Highlight?
this world where everything, the Oscars has been corrupted and the Golden Globes and all of humanity
Let me
has
guess. Women's sports.
been
right?
corrupted. Yeah, a lot of, I'll tell you where it started, and this is where we all needed, because, first they started playing soccer highlights and no one said a word,
Right.
and then they came
And
for
then they
us.
came for you.
Then they.
We all should have piped up when the soccer highlights made the top 10.
Please don't misappropriate the Holocaust
Oh
sign.
no, this is way worse.
Okay.
The top
Then they came for
10
you and you
is-
said nothing.
It's made for huge dunks. It's made for buzzer-beating
Yeah,
three-pointers.
it's made for alley-oop dunks. It's made for over-the-fence catches.
Over-the-fence catches.
Wow.
It's made for, field goals, 57 yards plus. It's made for a lot of
One-handed
highlights.
catches,
Okay.
Hail Marys.
Great catches. Throwbacks, where the quarterback hands the ball off and then goes out on the route,
Oh,
the flare
yeah.
pattern, and they throw the flag pattern to him.
Okay.
That's what it's made for. It's not made for soccer.
Flea flickers.
It's not made for softball. But I was watching SportsCenter's top 10 2 nights ago, and there was a softball catch.
Oh, come on. It's the World Series.
Let's watch the catch.
Okay.
So it starts with 10, and 10 is a dude playing college baseball, lays out. Just completely lays out. I think a third baseman
High school baseball.
just goes, or high school baseball, and just, I saw an aluminum bat over the back,
shoulder,
over
yeah.
the shoulder, laying out. Good catch. Now we got a dunk. We got an NBA dunk coming up here.
DeAndre in bringing the heat.
Sure.
Good. Solid.
That's number 9. But I'll tell you what's better.
Florida State and Alabama college softball.
All right, now you got to watch the catch and then the replay because she fell down.
Catch coming in.
This is a fairly pedestrian softball catch. I played 2,000 softball games. Stop it. First off, if you booted that would be on you. That would be an error. That's charging straight forward and catch. That's not laying out. That is anyone who's played softball has seen that catch made 4.5 times a game every single 9 innings.
Not only that, but Chris, put up a still of the actual catch if you can, like an actual where she makes the catch. If they flip the glove over, that's just a running
She had
catch.
it sideways.
She just happened to trip.
Yeah, catch.
She had the ball was 3 feet off the ground.
That is nipple height.
She came in and caught it at waist or above height, and then got her pants soiled when she hit the turf. But she caught the ball. This is not a top 10 play. This is a pedestrian, could have taken place at any park in Chicago, any time of the year. This kind of catch I would have made on 4.5 beers, no problemo, my entire goddamn career. This is not top 10. This is affirmative action.
Yeah, you're outraged.
They have shoehorned a pedestrian softball catch. This is not home run robbing. This is not the over-the-shoulder layout. This is not the spectacular turning of the two after the backhand on third base. This is a come in 25 feet, catch it waist high. It's been corrupted, Gina.
I get it. I
got bad news for you.
Yeah, it's bad news for me.
This is affirmative action for softball and women's sports. You must have better catches. You're allowed to show it in the highlights of the game. Not allowed to cannot crack the top 10.
Call it an 11.
Thank God you put that student athlete in her place.
That's right. That's right.
By the way,
all the coins she's making, the endorsements, the sweet deals, the private travel, and all that. I'm going to bring her down a couple notches.
By the way, the Seminoles. How much longer is that going to last?
I do not know.
I don't think the college is so steeped in tradition. This is 125 years of like Seminole pride or Illini pride. You know what I mean? Whatever it is. I don't think that ever changes.
Oh, wow.
I would be surprised.
I think the Florida universities have actual deals with some of the native tribes.
The tribes, yeah.
And they do get a cut of stuff.
Oh,
so
interesting.
like they're in this. I believe it's either the Seminoles or
so it makes sense for
they're in on the game.
On it. I get it.
Native Americans love their merch and they love hammering those checks.
You just unearthed a memory of mine from my childhood when I used to be really into baseball. So speaking of unnecessary dives, I sent Chris the link and meant to look through it. It's about halfway through. It's Robin Yount, the famous Milwaukee Brewer, used to play center field for the Brewers, and there was a no-hitter that was in progress. I think it was Juan Nieves. It's not important. Anyway, Eddie Murray hits one to center field, and Robin Yount hot dogs it and like unnecessarily dives to like make a spectacular play to save this no-hitter. But if we can see the actual clip, like he could have very easily just laid the glove out, made a running catch.
But he put a little razzle-dazzle on it.
He did an unnecessary dive.
Did it make the top 10? That's my contention. Center. Just answer the question.
Oh, yeah, that was extra.
Robin gave it a little oomph. I mean, it looks spectacular. He could have made a running catch easily. A former shortstop.
It was already in his glove before he jumped.
I don't want to. He pushed off a little at the end, but that was a pretty laid out. It was pretty laid out. I mean, he may have kept his feet under him. Much better than the chick from the. Well, I'm a big Yount fan. You know that, and I'm saying that it's a little bit of an effort there. He may have kept his feet under him, but
misogynist.
Yeah, but I would argue that if you try to keep your feet under you, because I've played a lot of center field, it can be a little. I don't know. I thought he was pretty. That was a pretty good catch.
It was a great catch.
He covered a lot of ground. I'll give him that.
He's a great athlete. Played shortstop at one point.
So the what the hell else did I want to get into? We got
Brewers talking. Paul Molitor.
Yeah. Let's see. We have an unprepared. We have facetious.
Oh.
Yeah, and I remember hearing this. This was up with Adam Ray at Jam in the Van, I believe, Max Pata.
Yes.
And facetious is a word I can use, but floating on its own, I was having trouble finding how to
context,
describe it. All right, here it is.
They spelled it wrong, but facetious is our first word.
Oh, boy, what a one to get out of the fucking gate.
Yeah.
Not since someone wrote Belgium on one of those things have I been so fucking stymied. Facetious means you're smart in making fun of somebody. Is that what being facetious is?
Yeah, isn't it like sarcastic?
It's like sarcastic for people with a thesaurus. I don't know. You had me at douchebag. I don't know why we need facetious.
Yeah.
Oh, he's being facetious. It's got a weird kind of a fecal kind of a sound to it. It has a fecal sound to it. It
It's in the
sounds
poop family,
like,
for sure.
yeah, you went to the doctor? Yeah, I've got facetious. Oh, what's the deal? Oh, you know, I gotta wear loose fitting pants for a couple of days and stay off the unicycle. And he says,
why is that?
He says, I have facetious. I got a facetious.
Leaky asshole?
Yeah, he doesn't, those weren't the words he used.
Oh.
He said air it out.
Yeah.
By the way, is there a bigger cop-out for a doctor than just air it out? You know what I mean? Yeah. What should I do? Yeah, walk around nude for 4 days. Go down to the beach, pull out a nutsack, you'll be fine. It's got to get air.
Yeah.
Really? Why am I paying you a deductible to tell me I could just lay on the bed? I could have learned this on fucking Little House in the Prairie. I feel sorry for anyone who has any condition that has to do with their asshole. You know what I mean?
For sure. I have the most empathy for that.
Yeah, you want to know why? You get no fucking, you garner no sympathy, only laughter and scoffing. Yeah. That's what asshole stuff does,
Because
right?
it's a funny part of the body to have a syndrome or a disease, or because it sounds made up, whatever it is.
Yeah, you have a number of holes in your body, right?
I
You got your ears,
Yep.
you got your mouth, you got your asshole, right?
Check.
You say to somebody, I got a problem with my adenoids. It's fucking killing me. They're like, oh, man, I had that too. You got to gargle with salt water. And if you go, I have an ear infection. I think it's thrown off my equilibrium. I think I have tinnitus or
Been
something.
there.
It's a ring in my ear.
Yeah.
Then you go, my asshole is on fire. And everyone's like,
Yeah. People start going, you're going to die soon. That's what that means, man.
yes. And by the way, speaking of equilibrium, your ear will throw you off, but your asshole, that is your compass.
Yeah.
That is your fucking center compass.
By the way, that is a T-shirt if I've ever heard
Your
of it.
asshole is your compass. When something's wrong with your asshole, it's like when they do those specials on the Devil's Triangle. That's so the compass is just spinning around. Like,
Yeah.
why is Adam walking sideways? His asshole is on the fritz again.
He doesn't know north from south.
That's right. No sympathy for the asshole.
Yeah. Great
That's 'cause
first
they
word.
pulled
Great
another
first
Paul.
word,
Yeah,
huh?
28.
Holy shit. We're right out of the gate.
Facetious.
Well done.
If you work that into your stand-up, do it's your true brown star.
Oh,
Or your
yeah.
North Brown star.
You can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
that. Oh,
That's not bad,
Quick
actually.
plug for Adam Ray. I know you guys don't watch it yet, though I think, Adam, you have plans to. The show Hacks, which is getting better and better. Gene Smart plays this sort of washed-up Vegas comedian. And great.
I love comedian
this
series.
is fantastic. And great Adam Ray featured episode. It's called 1.69, and there's a reason for that. And he just plays this fucking douchebag that she ends up kind of dismantling on stage. And it's a great episode, and he does a great job.
Well, we shall be. Where do we find
That's
it?
HBO.
HBO
Max or whatever.
All right. So a little bit ago, we had ex-Navy SEAL and author Jack Carr in here. It was about 3 weeks ago, I think, and he was talking about having to board a vessel
Right.
from a Zodiac boat.
Right.
Did he talk about falling off or like?
He did fall once.
He
yeah.
fell off not while boarding the vessel,
No, getting-
but from getting from one Zodiac to the other. I think he fell in between.
And he didn't think about drowning. He thought about how shaming it would be if he lost any equipment.
Well, he talked about having all the ops information,
yeah.
and everyone would have to redo their code and whatever if he was compromised.
A fate worse than death.
Yes, which is good. So he was talking about having to board these Iranian shipping vessels, these container ships or oil ships or something. They'd leave at night. They'd leave in bad weather.
They're trying to be
They'd have to pull up next to them
Right.
while they're at full throttle. And then they'd have to throw the rope ladder over the top and with the grappling hook, hope it grabbed onto something, and then scale up the side of the ship in the middle of the night while it was going 30 miles an hour in rough seas. So this is him, but then I'll play you a solution that there's been a solution to this problem. Wow. So the boat, let me just see if we can paint the picture. It's nighttime.
Yep.
Terrible weather.
Terrible weather, and the boat's moving at a full clip. I mean, they're not going half speed. They're going as fast as they can go. And you're pulling up next to them in what kind of craft?
Like a smaller, it's called a RIB, a rigid hull inflatable boat. So it's like 33, what is it, 33 feet? Anyway, it's like a small rubber boat, and you can fit, I don't know, 8, 10, 11 guys on there, something like that. And you had a couple of them, and you'd zoom up alongside, and then you'd throw these ladders up and hook in the middle of the night, pull the hook away, and it would unroll this little thing called a caving ladder, which is about that big. And then you'd climb up this thing and banging off the side of the ship, hoping that it's holding up there with this little tiny hook on it. And get over the side and then clear that ship.
So Pete Brock from Shelby fame and BRE fame, who sends me crazy videos, who sent me the Phalanx video game video that we erroneously played, sent one that was more verifiable about the Royal Marines, I think, this English, I guess the Navy SEALs of England. And they figured out a way to board a ship that
is he player one in this scenario?
This is two-person player.
A little cleaner than this. We'll take a look at it. So they show the rigid hull inflatable, what a ribbed boat pulling up next to the bigger vessel.
It's a raft, a rubber raft.
Rubber raft, and one of the bigger vessels is one of their vessels. They're not experimenting with Iranian container ships. And the one guy fires up a jetpack. The jetpack is coming out of his hands. He's got 2 big jets that he's wearing on both hands. I guess the propulsion system or the fuel is the backpack, but the actual lifting is done by his hands, his fists. He's holding them down. He's covering several hundred feet, flying in front of the boat. Then he lowers himself down with these thrusters onto the deck of the ship, and then once he gets onto the ship, that's when he secures the ladder and tosses the ladder off the edge.
That's amazing. That's Superman. We're there.
Yeah,
it's Iron Man.
It's Iron Man.
He's using his hands to propel.
Right. It's a bunch of little mini jets, probably the same kind of little jets that I used to have back in the day in model airplanes. I had little turbine jets, and then they hang the rope ladder off the side, and then the people climb up.
And that way you know it's secure. You're not the one having to throw it over. There's somebody up there waiting for you, sort of overseeing this.
That's pretty sweet.
That's awesome.
And how else could you do it? I mean, if you really think about it. And I was thinking about the old way of throwing the rope ladder with the hook on it. That's several thousand years old.
Oh, sure.
Like that technology has not changed since people are trying to get over the Great Wall of China.
That's some trebuchet shit.
Yes.
Makes perfect sense. Of course, put the thrusters in the hands so you can control them, but fast, slow, side to side. If it's in the backpack, like we always dreamed, it's hard to control.
Yeah, and also, whenever you'd see it in the movies, you'd always see the fire coming out of the backpack. Like that's
the guy's feet
a little tough on the back of the calves and the coolie.
That was really cool because you always think of like the the Cabo version, like the water for fun. It's like how are they going to pull this? Yeah, this is a totally new level.
I wonder, the question with that stuff is always, how much fuel do you have? Like those guys
just enough
probably have less than 3 minutes, although you can get a lot done in 3 minutes. But it's kind of nice to see technology working for the good guys or something like that. I thought that was a really cool video.
Why don't we have that?
I think
where's ours?
I think I have seen on TMZ that somebody invented a sort of multi-fan. So they took the, what do they call them? Not the droids. They call them the droids? Drones. The drones. They took sort of the drone technology and put enough of those fan motors on there. So there's a difference. Like this guy was using a jet technology. These guys are using like ducted fan technology where it's just a fan blade facing down, not an impeller and a propeller and a jet, whatever. But there's footage of guys, although I don't know if it's ever going to come to the mainstream because the guy who's riding the thing, he's got to be $135, maybe $140. And I've been to anyone who's been to Disneyland lately.
Oh yeah,
you're not going to get one of those.
Need a seatbelt extender.
Not one of those heavyweights. Not one of the big fellas on there.
That is also badass.
He is literally using propellers and just buzzing around the canopy of a forest.
He's standing on a drone, essentially.
He's standing on a drone, and he's just using his body weight. It's kind of like snowboarding. Just lean to the right, lean to the left. Wow. He's going above the canopy. I mean, he's got to be 80, 90 feet in the air.
This is stuff you literally only do in dreams.
Yes. Yeah. It's really interesting stuff. So it's coming like Back to the Future.
That's right.
And again, the batteries or the fuel, or I think it's all about, it's probably a lot like where electric cars were 25 years ago. Like, well, it's cool, but the range is really short. But we'll get to that range.
That was my question. I know not of what I speak, but could that jet-powered one we saw first be powered by like lithium-ion batteries if you had enough of them, or
Duracell
advanced enough ones?
Maybe with nothing we have today, but in 10 years, who knows?
Like a Tesla battery, like literally a car battery or a whole home battery. You had a big backpack on.
Well, those batteries weigh a lot, and I think that's a lot of the problem. But eventually, maybe we'll get there. Either way,
damn impressive.
That's badass.
If I'm working on one of the ships where Iron Man boards, I'm just setting my gun down and walking away. Like whatever you guys got. That's a little more than what we got over here.
You are the captain now.
That's right. All right. So let's see. Let me hit Humble CBD, based out of Southern California. Humble makes insanely great hemp-derived CBD products for any occasion. Humble is committed to helping you stay grounded no matter what life brings. Their line of CBD products is geared to help you focus, relax, recover, and more. Only for my listeners, Humble is offering 25% off your first order. So use the promo code Adam and use it to save on your entire order site-wide. So go to humble.com, and you should go to, humblecbd.com. That is humblecbd.com. Choose any of their products, whatever you need. You need to relax, fine. You want to get your head right, fine. You want to sleep a little better, fine. You go to humblecbd.com and get 25% off your entire order site-wide with the code Adam. Stay grounded with Humble CBD. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back after this.
Do you want to be a part of Adam's next book? I have a Grammy-winning vagina. Submit your questions for Ask an Asshole by emailing them to askhole@adamcarolla.com. Please include your name, age, and location. Ask about any topic you need the Ace Man's advice or answers on. That's ASKHOLE@adamcarolla.com.
Yeah, I've started getting into some of those emails with Lynch yesterday. I had a commute. I was in my car, got some downtime. Mm-hmm. So he picks up the phone and he starts reading me emails. And they're emails, they're on cars or transportation or politics or relationships or parenting. Like, there's just all the different categories. And there's some stuff I've kind of heard before, and then other stuff I've never heard before. Mm-hmm. And one of the questions, I'll paraphrase, was how come you don't see men on the back of motorcycles with women driving? Women riding the motorcycle and the guy on the back.
Does not happen. If it does, it's a punchline in a movie.
Right. Jim Carrey on the back of the chick with the Vespa. So I thought about it a little bit. I thought, well, what is that? Yeah, I mean, I get it, but also I started thinking, there's a lot of guys out there, and they're pretty damn progressive these days. I mean, you turn on the TV commercial, there's the guy, he's got the man bun, he's got the kid, the woman's dressed, she kisses him, she's off to the law office, he's staying behind taking care of the kids. We've shifted a lot of the roles around. Lots of guys, pretty woke, pretty progressive, lots of motorcycles. I see, especially if you walk up and down PCH on a Saturday, I see a lot of bikes going up and down PCH.
Weekend warrior.
And your choices are dudes alone or dudes with chick on the back.
Yes.
Never chick with dude on the back. So I started to really think it's 2021. Women ride bikes. Why aren't we there? How come it's such an anomaly? That's such to the point where I've never seen it. And I said to Mike, Mike, there's a lot of guys. I make fun of them all the time. They got a lot of bracelets, they're hipsters, they're woke.
No stew.
They're wives that they're not eating stew. They're wearing bracelets. Wives maybe making more than them. Maybe they're not working at all. Maybe they're trying to get their vegan cheese business off the ground.
Their chia pudding.
Well, she fucking goes in and subsidizes it. Whoa, there's a lot of those guys. Why wouldn't those guys be on the back of the bike?
But on the back of what bike?
I said, those guys are too big of pussies to have a motorcycle. They're too fucking scared. Those guys are scared of everything, and they'd never allow the old lady to have a motorcycle. It's too dangerous.
So the populace you're drawing from, motorcycle riders, already have made that decision.
Yeah.
Right. So the guys who say, I'm going to ride a motorcycle are the old school guys who are set in their ways. The folks who, the guys who would gladly hop on the back of their woman's bike would not let their woman have a bike. It would be too dangerous. They have kids. You can't ride a motorcycle. So that's the group, because it's not that half the country isn't perfectly willing to get behind their woman on a bike or anything else. It's that half is too scared to ride a motorcycle.
It's a non-starter.
And that's why you don't see it.
Wow.
There's a book preview.
Yeah,
There's an excerpt.
Well, it was kind of funny because what happens is I just drive and Mike spits stuff out and I go, I never thought about that one. And then something opens up and he starts typing and I start spouting, and next thing you know, we have our sixth book. The other thing I was talking about was, as it pertained to that, is where you put your hands as a dude who has to get on the back of a bike of another dude.
Don't you hold on to their belt buckle in the back?
Well, I figured out that if you got your hands around their waist,
it's a date.
You may be gay. Yeah. You're probably a bottom. Put the hands on the shoulders. Now you've been upgraded to bi.
Right. You're top.
Arms folded and smoking. You're the straightest dude on the fucking planet.
I was going to say, put the guy in the chokehold, but that won't go very long.
I've definitely seen the I don't want to do this at all, but I'm compromising
Hands
guy
at
with
the back.
one hand holding the back of his seat.
I was telling Mike yesterday, I grew up seeing dudes frequently smoking on motorcycles because everyone smoked, and the guys who smoked had motorcycles. I mean, these are guys that health wasn't at the top of their list, right? Safety wasn't, so they rode bikes, and they smoked. Yeah, which is a power move, power look.
When back in the day when I first moved here, the person I was with had a motorcycle, the Gold Wing, because we got into it on how to pronounce that.
Not the Gold Wing,
right? And I kind of think this might be my badass power move. We would go on these long rides, and with the helmet and with the noise and the freeways, I would fall asleep on the back of the bike.
Wow.
I have a touch of narcolepsy, I think, but I thought I am so loose as a goose, I would fall asleep on the bike on the way to San Diego.
Yeah, I've ridden on the back of many a dude's bike just because when I was growing up, nobody had transportation, and at some point your buddy Chris would get a motorcycle. And he was going to come pick you up. It's like, what are you going to do? You don't have a car. I used to tote Ray around. Ray would frequently ride barefoot, smoking on the back of my motorcycle. Shorts. Fell off the back of Chris's when he was trying to light a cigarette, and Chris gave it a little gas and just kind of popped him. Barefoot again. And distinctly remember taking that Honda 404 to the Arco in North Hollywood and putting in like 61 cents worth of gas. All right, we got some calls up here. Oh, here's something. Somebody tweeted me this, and I've always been interested in this story, the Ray Caruth story.
Yeah, his son's in the news.
Yeah, the Ray Caruth story is a standout wide receiver for the Panthers.
Pretty sure Panthers,
I think. Gina, remember this one?
I only know him from the Hanukkah song from Adam Sandler. Ray Caruth, he converted.
Oh, really?
No,
Rod Carew.
Oh, shit. Never mind.
Very different.
Very different.
Very different.
Sorry.
See, my mind was like, oh, didn't Sandler do an updated version of that?
No,
and
that
so
was my
I went
bad.
with Gina,
Don't
benefit
ever go
of the
with
doubt.
me.
Like, I was like, oh, in the updated one, did he touch on Ray
Don't
Caruth?
listen to me.
Standout wide receiver, got his baby mama, Prager's.
Oh, he did not convert to Judaism.
He's been in the joint a long time.
I know who we're talking about. Yes.
Took her out to a movie.
Right, yeah.
Took her back home, made sweet love to her.
And then?
Then sent her on her way,
Right.
and along the dark highway had someone intercept her at 9 months pregnant and just unload a clip into her while she was sitting in the car at the stop sign.
That's kind of a conversion. He converted her too.
Yeah.
true.
Now, the son
Here's the catch.
who was in her was also shot up, brought her back, brought her to the hospital.
Was the kid shot, or did he suffer from like blood? She stopped, providing him blood or amniotic
fluid. I didn't get to that one.
Either way, he was affected.
Developmentally disabled.
Yes, and they were able to birth him.
Wow.
She stayed alive for 24 hours, sort of long enough to say what happened. Ray Caruth showed up to visit the hospital with his girlfriend.
Ballsy.
Wow.
Brazen.
And then when I believe he said from prison, well, that's still my son. Like, I'd still like to have a relationship with him.
Would
like,
you?
Legally.
Oh, okay.
And then he got off. The kid was severely disabled, given to grandmama to raise, I believe, and scant 18 years later, is graduating high school. Hey, Robert, 40, Castro Valley.
Mijo.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Chancellor, he's 21 now, and
He's 21.
He put in the work, and he just walked across the stage with somebody helping him and was able to graduate high school. It's really inspiring.
I hope he sits on a park bench somewhere and some guy sits next to him and they're complaining about what happened before they were born. And like, my mom smoked unfiltered menthol cigarettes. Oh, that's what you
That's why I have a bit of OCD. Yeah. So a touch of ADHD.
She used to drink sherry to help her go to bed when she was 7 months pregnant with me. Hey, Robert. Oh, hold on. Robert.
Yes.
How is he? Is he able to walk and everything?
Well, he's got cerebral palsy and some other issues, but from pictures that I've seen, he has like a walker that you see like an old person use. In the video that I saw, it would look like somebody who was either a teacher or a principal was walking him across the stage, but he was able to walk across the stage, and it looked like he was waving to his grandparents. It's really sweet.
I wonder, is he able to speak?
That's a great question.
I'm not really sure, and it didn't really go into detail in the article. It just kind of said he worked really hard in order to get this degree, and it wasn't like they handed it to him.
Well, what would they say?
It says he can only speak.
Of course.
He speaks only a word or two at a time.
That's true for all of us.
Yeah.
You try to do more than one at a time.
Just real word salad.
It's really hard to understand.
Gibberish.
Do all the words at once.
I think I know where they're heading, though.
Yeah.
Did we figure out whether he was physically shot? And I mean, the guy just stood next to the car window and just kept unloaded, and it seemed almost bizarre if he wasn't hit.
True.
But I don't know. And then, didn't Ray Caruth say, when I get paroled, I'm going to be reunited? And didn't he get paroled, or isn't he getting paroled?
Yeah, he's free. He
nice.
He became a free man. He's given he's given his son several thousands of dollars through the court system in 2019. He still owes the Adamses, the family, millions in damages, though. He has had no face-to-face contact with his son since he was a baby.
Yeah, if you were the grandparents, on what planet would you allow this man to see this child?
Oh, my God. And the guy who was the trigger man, he's still in prison.
Yeah.
But the guy who hired him has been paroled.
That's nice. The one with the beef.
Yeah, Ray Caruth. He moved to Pennsylvania to live with a friend.
How nice.
Wow.
It's nice him landing on his feet.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert.
Yes.
It's such an insane decision-making process because he was a good wideout in the NFL.
No. Oh, he was a wideout. You're right. I thought he was a DB. You're 100% right.
He was a wideout in the NFL, and he was good.
Okay.
You know, and people knew who he was. He had some contracts, you know, definitely could have had some good paydays, you know, could have done that.
Question, did the defense ever blame CTE?
No, I don't think that was part of it. He was young.
And the grandma, she says that I'm hoping someone will tell Ray about the great milestone that Chancellor, the son, is reaching.
If he reads the news.
And as always, I'm still open. Maybe we can have some communication.
She's a saint.
And is that the grandma of the woman who was executed, or
Yes,
the mom
the
of the
mom.
woman who was executed?
Yes. The mom.
I wonder what Ray's mom is doing. I'd like to meet Ray Caruth's mom and go, "Hey, nice job."
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think she knows.
Hey, let me tell you something, just to put it in context. If my adult son pulled his ponytail through the hole in the back of his ball cap, I would be devastated. Okay? And I would look at myself as a failure as a parent.
Right.
Okay, but for you.
And how do we quantify this?
Jesus Christ. All right. Wait a minute. Thanks, Robert in Castro Valley. Robert, Castro Valley.
Thank you.
Want to appreciate that. And I don't know if you tweeted that to me, but I saw it.
No. It's funny because I actually was the first person to talk about this a long time ago. I think when AJ was on, and I said, "Oh, Ray Caruth's getting out of jail. Are you going to mark it on your calendar?" And that was kind of like the first bringing back Ray Caruth on the show, talking about.
I think it may have been on a behind the sports, beyond the sports, true sports, real sports.
Real sports, probably. 'Cause I saw it too.
An expose. Yeah. All right, let's see. Let's talk to Carlos, 40 from San Diego. Carlos?
Hey.
Hey.
How's everybody doing? First time, long time.
All right.
Yeah. You know who said hey?
Who did?
Hey, is it from, that's, she's.
It's Dwayne.
Yeah.
What the hell is the name of
No,
what's happening?
I think Reruns said hey.
From what's happening?
Oh, we got to
It's
figure
definitely
out
from what's happening.
Yeah. Dwayne was not.
Hey, Raj. Hey, Rerun.
Hey.
Dwayne. Hey. Yeah, it is Dwayne.
Somebody check the
we
tape.
were more easily entertained back then.
Clearly, dynamite.
You just sit there until the fat guy said, hey.
Catchphrases
Now,
are
Roger,
real weird.
you're going to take D to the movies with you.
Catchphrases were a weird moment in like 70s, 80s sitcoms.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah,
Dynamite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, that makes me think. Did white people have catchphrases?
We tried.
Yeah, it didn't work.
We tried. There's the catchphrase that everyone knows and ubiquitous. I mean, we had hey and Fonzie, but there's the
kiss my
ones
grits.
that they never committed to that didn't catch on, which was John Stamos from Full House would go, Lord have mercy, but it never. They'd only use it every 7th episode, and it just never got any traction.
No, but you're right. Cut it out.
Didn't the little one have like a "Come on, dude" or something?
Yeah, but
one of the
again-
one of the Olsen twins. You're right.
But if we have to debate it,
That's a good point.
Carlos. Sorry.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
So,
Okay.
So I was calling because a few days ago you guys were talking about like having a bad 21st birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and on my 21st birthday, under my mom's wish, I gave my brother's eulogy.
Oh,
my
my
God.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
Wow.
Honey.
How? So what happened? I hope your brother was
he
70 years
was he
older than you.
alive?
Was it like Moonstruck?
So this happened back in 2001, and so he was 19,
Oh.
Yeah.
and he basically got shot in the back by the police where we used to live in National City, which is in San Diego County. And so, you know, he was running away from the police, and one of the officers came up on him with the cruiser, and he slid over the hood, you know, like in the movies, and then he just kept running, and the cop, when he stepped out of the vehicle, just shot him in the back. And that was it.
Did you guys lawyer up? Did you get a payday?
So what happened is that the lawyer started reaching out to my mom, and she did lawyer up, and what happened is this weird thing, because everything was unexpected, right? And so my mom, when she started going to court and everything, they just started speaking really bad about my brother. I mean, you know, he was a gang member and everything, so they were just saying the worst things they could about, you know, about gang members, so that they didn't have to, you know, so they can reduce the payout.
Right.
They did end up paying her, I think it was like $200,000, and it was the money that she used to get out of living at the apartments, because we grew up living in apartments, and in 2002 we moved into a house with that money.
Wow.
And
how did you feel about giving the eulogy? You said it was your mom at your mom's request. How did you?
So, I at the time I felt okay about it. I kind of felt good that she asked me to do it. You know, at church and everything, you know, I did, you know, some public speaking. So I felt okay about doing it, and I wanted to talk, you know, I wanted to say good things about him. And so I felt good about it. But, you know, looking back, now that I'm about around the age that my mom was when everything happened, I don't know, it feels like it would be hard for me to ask somebody to do that. Yeah. But, you know, yeah, I did it, and
well, let's see if we can cut your mom a little slack. The funeral was like on a Sunday. I mean, was it? You know, if it was on a Wednesday, I got a little beef with your mom because she should kick it back to Thursday or kick it up to Tuesday.
You have those options when you're not Jewish. You can kind of put it whenever.
Well, we don't know they're not Jewish.
Oh, that's true. I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Are you guys in the tribe, Carlos?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. We
right.
had to be sure.
Was it on?
It was on a Monday.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. And she probably wasn't much in the mood to celebrate you.
No. Well, here's the other thing. I'm Jehovah's Witness, so we don't celebrate our birthdays anyway.
Right.
That's a twist.
But you know, it is the age where now I'm legally allowed to drink. So I kind of wanted to, you know, even though it was going to be on Monday, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of drinking.
Well, I'd suppose you'd need a drink after that eulogy, so hopefully you at least got your drink in.
Yeah, it was just the whole.
Wow.
Well, Carlos, you beat us all on the bad 21st birthday celebrations. Yeah. Are you doing okay now?
Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm married for 15 years. July 1st.
Wow.
And
too bad you guys can't celebrate.
Got my own house.
Are you still
good.
Jehovah? You're able to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries and things?
No, I'm still a witness.
I think my parents were sort of de facto Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't think they followed many of the tenets, but the non-celebratory one, they had that
early
one
and
locked
often.
in. Yeah, they're grandfathered in. Well, thanks, Carlos.
All righty, you guys have a good one.
Sorry to hear about your brother.
Thank you.
Sandra Lowe has joined us a little bit early, so I'll tell you what. Let's not make her wait. Let me just hit Geico, and then we'll bring Sandra in. Geico, do you rent your home? Well, sure, you do one or the other. And then there is your automotive policy. Well, how about you get your bundle going? Take your automotive policy and your homeowners or renters insurance and put it together and bundle. That's what they call it at Geico. And hell, summer's upon us now. Why don't you take a little road trip? I think we had a road trip story sponsored by Geico. Chris, you got a road trip story?
So I know I've talked about taking that school bus on a road trip when I was 20 with 15 of my friends. Well, 2 years later,
Ambitious. I mean, you bought a school bus.
Yeah.
You pulled out all the seats.
Oh, yeah, pulled out all the seats. So what happened was we just wanted to go on a trip, and there were a lot of us. So we thought, and my neighbor around the block was selling a biodiesel school bus.
Oh, yeah.
And we all pitched in $200 to buy it and get it fixed
Was it
up.
roadworthy?
It kind of was. It was registered as an RV.
Oh, sure.
Which helped. And we took out all the seats. You know what we do, Adam? Since we got it for a summer trip, we bought it like in December. So we were getting hired out to do proms. We were using that bus for
resourceful.
Any way we could. We emptied out all the seats, and since it was biodiesel, it was filled. It had barrels of vegetable oil in it, and we took a sharp turn, and all the vegetable oil spilled all over the floor. Had to just fill the thing with kitty litter. And
Good Lord.
Yeah, but we took it out for a summer. It was fun.
You persevered.
Having worked at a grocery store, oil spills are the worst spills.
Oh,
Olive
gotta
oil,
be.
veggie oil.
Viscous.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, so the kitty litter helped. But anyway, 2 years after that trip, 3 of my friends wanted to go to another road trip, just a smaller one where they would go to all the baseball stadiums. And we had a goodbye dinner for them just because they were going to be gone for a little over a month. And as I was sitting there, they were telling me about all the cool stuff they were going to do. And they were leaving at 6 a.m. the next day. And at 8 p.m. after the dinner, I go home and I give them a call. I'm like, is there room for one more person in that car? And they said, yeah. And I packed up all my stuff. I met up with them.
Not a regular sized person.
Yeah, exactly. And I packed up my stuff. I went with them. I quit. I had 2 jobs at the time. I quit them both the next day when we were in Phoenix over the phone. I was just very spontaneous.
Footloose and fancy free.
Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, she was new. She wasn't very happy with me that I did that either. But yeah, it's just one of those impulsive things that I felt like I needed to go.
How many ballparks? Well, I think we all sort of miss those days where you could just give in to impulse.
Yeah.
You know,
Best.
we're
Going to
going
Vegas.
We're going to Vegas. I still warn people because
We're driving to Florida.
I've done the Vegas thing, and I was thinking about talking about this the other day, which is the Vegas or the any road trip. It sounds great. Our thing was we were going to finish our shows at the Acme Theater on a Friday night. We're going to get in Katie Donahue's Honda because it was newish, and we're going to take 5 people, and we're going to drive through the night. We're going to go to Vegas. But we walked into the casino. It was 5:15 in the morning. And we want to check.
Now what?
We want to check in. We've been up all night.
Good luck.
Come back at 3 p.m.
10 hours.
And I remember going like, oh, yeah, we can't go anywhere. We don't have any money. We can't do anything. We sat in a coffee house for, 11 hours. And it was so, and we'd all been up all night. We did 2 shows at Acme, rolled in at 5:30. It's like, I can't wait to hit that. We were going to put 8 people in one room, but the room was not available until 3 in the afternoon, which you got to think about when you're going to land, not necessarily when you're leaving.
Speaking of road trips, that's one of the best little observations in the movie Swingers, where like they're headed out with piss and vinegar, and then 2.5 hours in, they're like, oh, Christ.
Vegas, baby.
Well, thank you, Geico, for sponsoring that road trip at geico.com. All right. Sandra Lowe is going to come in here and wax poetic about everything, and we'll do that right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Adam, I finally got one. It's been years. Rich man, poor man. Having a strong opinion about a judge.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Not for the middle class.
Very good.
Very true. Sandra Tsing Lowe has joined us. The show, The Bitch, is back. It's streaming on demand June 23rd through the 30th, and you can get tickets and information by visiting thebroadstage.org. Good to see you.
Nice to be here.
I was noticing that you were raised in Malibu.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been spending some time in Malibu and walking around a lot and looking at buildings, looking at houses they're building on PCH. One was for sale for like $49 million. There's another one, triple lot one they're building with big caisson rigs and stuff. It's got to be, someone's going to want $65 million. But if you talk to guys like Rob Lowe, who grew up out there and are about our age, he's like, we rode horses. It was kind of a podunk town. There wasn't much going on. So tell us, we'll move toward the future will end up in Pasadena. But what was Malibu like in the 70s?
So Malibu, middle school in the 1970s was horrific. It was Malibu Park Junior High School. There was no high school. So what many don't know is that I was one of the poor of Malibu. So my father was a Chinese engineer from Shanghai, and he worked at Hughes Research Labs that was up there. So we nerd kids were flung into school with, they were even movie star kids then in the 70s, like Flip Wilson's son was there, Christy McNichol, and it's kind of like, and my computer date, he never showed up, it was the first time they tried that, was Chad McQueen.
Wow,
okay,
Steve McQueen's son.
You can imagine. So my mother my mother's German. She's a head taller than my father, who's Chinese. We are so nerdy. The kids are Chinese German, so we look Hispanic. My mother's dressing us up in Heidi of the Outside Dirndls and clogs because she was a fan of The Sound of Music, Limburger cheese sandwiches, Lederhosen. And
you really wore a dirndl?
Yeah, I did. And those
ringlets?
Those ringlets. So, and Chad McQueen, so middle school is already so horrific. And then not only are your peers movie stars, Sean Penn was vice president of the boys thing and president of the surfing club. And so Chad McQueen, his dad is Steve McQueen and his mother's Allie McGraw. And she speeds up to school in a red convertible afterwards. And he's their son. And then he's the computer date. He doesn't show up. He just, it was really horrific.
That's devastating.
Yeah.
First off, his name is Chad McQueen, so even if he wasn't the son of anyone, his name would still be Chad McQueen.
He's still the big man on campus.
Yeah.
The coolest name of the 70s. And also, you brought up Flip Wilson. We were talking about catchphrases or calling cards. He would do Geraldine, the black woman, then he'd go, "Back off, sucker!" You can find Geraldine saying "back off," and then he'd go, "Woo!" Like you could get away with so much that wasn't entertainment back then. But I think he'd say "back off, sucker," or some version of that.
But
get back, sucker.
Yeah, and Lee Marvin. There would be parties at Lee Marvin's house, and the children were scared because he would be like so drunk. And he was not a happy drunk. He was like a mean drunk.
What? Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Emilio Estevez was nice.
Sure,
so I would say he was like
is.
nice. Rob Lowe was there. So it was like, but it was really surreal. And I think even at that particular time, these kids were already kind of famous.
Well, here's a hypothetical question for everybody, and for some reason, I have some weird recollection of Lee Marvin being one of the first palimony guys.
Really?
There may have been a famous Lee Marvin case with palimony.
Yeah.
And that he lived in Malibu and he had like a live-in girlfriend for 10 years and then they broke up and she's like, well, we didn't get married, but I blew you 1,300 times. It's got to be worth a car. I think it was Lee Marvin. It's just a sketchy recollection. So here's the hypothetical. Would you rather be the dorky kid that's growing up in the coolest place in the world with the coolest people? Definitely, doesn't sound great. But on the other hand, dorky kid with just a pool of dorky, dumb, poor kids. So I sort of grew up. That's not great shakes either, because you don't get to go to Lee Marvin's house. You go to someone's shitty apartment in Van Nuys.
Yeah. Sandra has way better cocktail stories than you do.
Yes.
Like cocktail party stories.
Well, I don't think we did many of those, actually, but it was very unsupervised in the 70s.
Yes.
So that the kid, it was awful. Like the children, like Bob Dylan,
or
he had
awesome,
many kids,
depending on
running around, and and Maria was his daughter, really cool, like went immediately to Orthodox Jewish high school. It's like, I can't take this anymore.
It was a
weird.
the 70s were like real free to be me, you and me. And so what it was, because I grew up around that kind of hippie ethos too, which is like, they kind of did this thing where it's like, hey, they're human beings. They're not kids. They can make their own decisions. They want to go to bed or they want to stay out.
Entities.
But it's like, I want to go in this room and get high, and I don't want to fucking make an omelet.
And I don't want to feel guilty about it.
So you're now you're now an adult,
right,
even though you're 11, and go do whatever the fuck you want. That was kind of a 70s thing, but
Yeah, and there was a lot of experimentation with kind of like, not like clubs like boys rap or automotive mechanics, and girls would take that and a little bit of home ec. So they were trying to, do outdated kind of gender things like punch hook a rug and that sort of, and poetry, rock poetry. But I think didn't really groom us for
so then you had
life
to
skills.
basically bus yourself to Santa Monica?
Yeah, it was an hour each way to Samo High.
Yeah, because that's the nearest high school.
Yeah, 45 minutes away.
But still must have been kind of nice growing up in that Malibu environment as a young person.
Well, I suppose so. But the palm trees and the puka shells those Miller Outpost shirts and the girls had the Jordache jeans and the Shamanda Fair jeans and the cork wedgies. Gina, you're too young.
I'm loving that. The Shamanda Fair.
It's a Shamanda Fair. And then
I thought it was Shamenda Fair, but maybe that's a North Hollywood take on it. It's good if you're Chad McQueen, because your dad's Steve McQueen. You got the puka shells, not the fake plastic ones from Zodi's or Save-Ons, but the real Hawaiian-made puka shells.
Yeah.
Your dad's the king of cool.
Oh.
You got every mini bike and every go-kart that exists.
Skateboarding.
You got all the good stuff, and you got the right hair for the time.
Yeah. There was that flyaway, that kind of Partridge
Feathered,
Family.
yes,
Sure.
yes, very important to have that. So you probably stood out a little bit then, and probably didn't mix in with the Chad McQueens.
The wrong hair, and then I tried to get a perm. It's like the Asian fro, like the Jackson.
Asian with a perm.
It's like the Jackson 5, the unknown member of the Jackson 5. This is the fro, this big, it's just horrible, and the dirndl, horrible.
I don't want to get myself into trouble, but if you're a hairdresser and an Asian comes in and wants a perm, you have to it's a fiduciary thing.
Like,
step back.
It's like
walk
the bartender.
away.
You've had enough.
You've been overserved.
Yeah.
So do no harm situation.
But we wanted the Jane Seymour ringlets, the Battlestar Galactica, and nobody can get those anymore.
Yeah. But look at you. You landed on your feet.
Yeah.
Well, so then for you, is it Lee Marvin with Palimony, or am I thinking of another actor who's exactly
100%
the same?
Lee Marvin. I looked up Palimony. There's an entry on Wikipedia, and there's a separate subsection for Marvin versus Marvin.
Wow.
It was like a notable case.
Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Well, not that he would sue at this point, I would think, but still.
Yeah, at least got to be gone. But I guess he may have been one of the pioneers of the Palimony.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be curious curious more about that. I don't know if she won. I don't know how it worked.
I feel like she would have to have won if that's why you know it. You know what I mean? Like it would have just been another guy that tried to get out of it, and that was that.
Certainly, she'd have to sue him for palimony. We'd have to be in love with somebody coming up with the term palimony, which we just love now.
They're not pals.
It's so much better than Benifer. And then I don't know what happened after that because I was 14 and didn't give a shit. But where does the comedy and the commentary start for you?
So, and I went to Caltech and majored in physics, which I didn't know very much about because, my father was from Shanghai and he was Chinese. So then I went into liberal arts, which to a Chinese father is like pole dancing, as I like to say. It's like, so I realized I was not very good at physics. I worked at Hughes Aircraft Company for a while, and I'm not a person that you want to work on that, let's just say. So I just started coming up through clubs at that time. So At My Place was in Santa Monica and kind of doing that sort of thing. Public radio was coming in. This American Life was not even that kind of show yet. So it was a great time in the 90s for essayists and writers and commentators and stage humorists, all that kind of thing. So I kind of went from there and then wrote books and theater and kind of went all back and forth.
Was it always something you wanted to do and you feel like you got kind of pushed into the Hughes and in more of the sort of technical side of life?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to do something. And again, when you're raised like that with those kinds of parents, it's like, go into aerospace engineering or you'll starve. And meanwhile, a few years later, the aircraft industry crashes in Hughes. So it was definitely that journey. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Chad McQueen has fared as well as you. I've interviewed him before.
He's race cars, though.
Yeah, but it's always, here's another, be careful what you wish for. Your dad is Mr. Car Guy and he's Mr. Cool Guy. And really, no matter what you do, you're still just that guy who's kind of, it's like the people who didn't start the business, but they've inherited the business.
Everyone kind of rolls
Maybe
their
they're doing a
eyes.
better job running the business, but they didn't start it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's my son podcasting. Yeah, Steve McQueen died in 1980. By the way, he's died
That's
a
pretty
long
early.
goddamn time ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What is Ally McGraw still alive? Did she?
I
die?
think she's still alive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would think. When did Lee Marvin die? That's the real question. Probably killed himself when he's walking back to his car after he lost his palimony.
Lee Marvin died in 87.
Wow.
Age 63, and Ally McGraw's 82.
Wow.
But Ben Vereen outlived them. He got hit.
Ben
on.
Vereen got run over
Yeah,
on PCH.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think he lived.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's still alive.
Yeah, he's
and
74.
Stephen King got ran over, too, didn't he?
And Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman got ran over?
Yeah, in Florida, in like the villages or something. Like not the villages per se, but like in a retirement community.
Oh, boy.
Please look that up.
It's a pandemic.
There's a lot of wikiing going on.
So let's talk about The Bitch Is Back, which I was looking for clips so I could talk to you about them, but I couldn't find any. So I don't know if they're not on the internet or is there a trailer for
this
it?
is the thing that's streaming. So it's streaming on demand is the actual whole show. And so that was at the Broad Stage, which was like a cabaret format, and I served the audience drinks when we were going. So this is based on this book, The Mad Woman and the Vulva, that I wrote a few years ago. And my editor at The Atlantic kept saying, you should write about menopause, but I was in my 40s. I go, I don't want to write about it. No. And then it came on, and then I started writing about it. So the menopause, which is such an unsexy thing, but it can start as early as in your 30s and last between 4 and 15 years. So it's a really wide.
It's fun for us.
It's so
Judy,
fun.
you have that to look forward to.
Yeah, fun.
Thank you, Brian.
Fun for
Get
everyone.
your 30s.
So I went on book tour with this book, The Mad Woman and the Vulva, but I found out like book tours are usually really boring. Like they're in a bookstore and folding chairs and like whatever. And then I started getting invited to these house parties that these women were throwing. And these women, when they get 45 and up, they're crazy. So they'll be walking up in weird hats, carrying like a Johnny Walker, the one with the handle on it.
Yeah.
And so I go, I am scared because when they're menopause, they're screaming. They don't give a fuck anymore. In fact, that could be bleeped, whatever. It doesn't matter. So they're going, oh my God. I go, and they're drunk and eating cheese and, just sweating. And I go, I don't want to go out. Like, I can't just read from my book. And so just go out there. And so I just, in fear, just start doing like a couple riffs that they would enjoy and then get off in 15 minutes, because it's kind of, what about those Costco samples? And who needs to get stoned to go to Michael's? And God, who wants to get on a scale? It was like this whole, that sort of thing. And so that became the show. I had to do the show very last minute at the Broad. So I just put those rants together and then did that. So that's how that came out. It's a show of panic.
Dr. Drew talks about menopause as it pertains to his wife, who didn't need to get any crazier, but evidently maybe did. I didn't think it was possible. This one goes to 11, baby. But he said testosterone, man, huge difference. That a lot of women are suffering and getting into menopause. They don't really know what's going on, and testosterone makes a huge difference.
Oh, balances out the estrogen?
Yeah, or just testosterone therapy for women going into menopause or in the throes of menopause.
Are my balls going to shrink?
Made a huge deal. Big difference.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
because what happens, when people think of menopause, if they think of it at all and they try not to, it's like their mother suddenly going crazy instead of drying those dishes, hurling them through the window and hurling a leg of lamb out of plate glass of somebody suddenly snapping. But
Right.
it turns out that the theory of menopause is that really the change is when you're 12 and you're a girl and you're just like any other boy, kind of selfish, and you don't wash your hair and you smell bad and play with your horses and you don't care what. And then the estrogen cloud comes down, and then you start worrying about boys and shampooing your hair, and all the strawberry vanilla shampoo starts happening, and you're pleasing people. And then so the estrogen has to kick in for those 30 years that you're making children and pregnant. And in fact, your memory gets repressed and your anger gets repressed because evolutionarily, it was not good for women to remember what the other tribe did and go attack them. They just want to take care of the children. So about 46, that cloud starts to lift, and then the women wake up and go, why the hell am I making sandwiches for you guys? You're 7 feet tall, and they start hurling the sandwiches. So it's thought of as a return back to yourself, which is the idea of the bitch is back.
I love
Bitch is
that.
there. It's coming back to your own. And the testosterone, there are elevated levels of testosterone in women's levels when they're menopausal. And then they grow mustaches and they get angry. Actually, you do kind of grow a lot of hair in different places. So.
That's all bullshit.
That's the fun.
I don't know
Brian.
how. I don't know the science behind it, but I've talked to Dr. Drew about this more than once, and somehow testosterone is a
they
good
do
thing.
that. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've been a fan for so long. I'm so happy you're here. And I was even talking about how the low life, your segment on the radio, really kind of defined my driving time in LA for so many years. And you're very open, and you do it in this really humorous way. But I know you have 2 daughters.
Yes.
How have they sort of felt growing up with a mom that is so open about your life, about their life, about divorcing, about stuff about the kids?
Well, I think when they were growing up, they just didn't know, and they didn't really follow it very much. And then, although in middle school, because I did blow up my marriage, speaking of road trips in Las Vegas, I took an RV and went to Burning Man, blew up my marriage about age 46, and it was horrible. And my oldest daughter was in middle school, so kind of in Milliken Middle School, and they would Google their parents and would come up with Sandra Tsing Low, affair and divorce. I mean, it was pretty bad.
Milliken's in the San Fernando Valley.
It is. It's in Studio City, so a lot of people go in the beautiful valley. Because I ended up in Van Nuys. Thank you. After Malibu to Van Nuys. Yeah. You know what? That joke. What's the quickest way to get to the valley? Marry a musician. That was it. So there we were. So
there's Van Nuys, and then there's Sherman Oaks adjacent. Are you in Van Nuys?
Or not like Valley Glen or
Valley
Toluca
Village.
Heights. That don't have those kinds of.
Van Nuys is rough.
Yeah,
as you say, out of the hot tub and into the snowbank.
Yes.
Or we'd say Van Nuys is a very good place to buy tile.
Yes.
You know, there's so much good tile.
Yeah, like tactile. Yeah. Yep.
You want to buy tile there. So, so that was kind of pretty hard. And now they just ignore it. They feel like it's the family business making donuts. They don't really pay much attention to it. So,
and they're, how old are they?
So they are 19 and 20. One just graduated UC Santa Barbara, and the other's at Berkeley. And they're a trans, so they're now a they.
God bless.
Are they both they?
No, the older one is a she, and the younger one is a they.
Oh, wait a minute.
Why is this math hard for you?
But the older one is a she through and through. I mean, from soup to nuts. Started as a part of the nuts.
You gotta rephrase that.
It's going to get offensive, but I'm just trying to get clarity here.
Soup to nuts.
Soup to no nuts.
No, soup to no nuts. Yeah, I don't know what kind of. Yeah, okay, I can't even go there.
Yeah,
it's
not worth it.
Okay, soup to nuts, and then
your younger one.
It is. Let's see, soup, and then
what were
nuts,
their
nuts
names?
presenting.
Nuts
presenting.
We can figure this out.
No, okay. So Madeline is the
She's the older one.
The older one. Okay. So
and we still call her Madeline.
Madeline.
All right.
Okay.
Now
and
I'm
then
clear.
the youngest, Tsing.
Tsing.
Non-binary.
Oh, okay.
So.
Graduated at age 20 from UCSB.
In art. What could go wrong?
Gaucho.
A gaucho, exactly. Just had your graduation this week. Oprah is speaking.
My.
Well, Oprah just had to walk down the hill.
I know.
She took her golf cart down the hill.
Yeah. The backyard.
She's a good student then, right? I mean, or she started at 16,
she is
or
a
how's
good
that work?
student and blew out of there. They had a lot of AP credits, blew through, graduating into what's next. I go into those, the adventure starts now, balloons at the Ralphs. And then behind me in line, a woman said, what adventure? I go, I don't know.
Hey, let me ask about the, literally maybe the bloom coming off the rose a little bit. But when I was young, if in fact you were to present a young woman, like when I was like 23, if you bought a woman a bouquet of roses, you had to go to the Toluca Lake florist. It was 99 bucks.
It's
it
still
was
there.
discussions of baby
Conroy's.
breath and things of that nature. Now there's the Guatemalan chick who's out front of the Circle K. She's got a pretty nice bouquet going
selection.
for 14, 17 bucks. And then you go to Ralph's and they got all the Mylar balloons
The whole
and the full
section.
floral.
Yeah.
So, doesn't that take a little off it for the ladies? You know what I mean?
I see
Because
what you
it's
mean.
kind of, it always seemed to be effort based for me.
Yes.
Like if I said, I got my girlfriend Tori Amos's flowers.
Tori Amos didn't want them.
She left them behind at the studio. I presented them, girlfriend not pleased, because these were sloppy flower seconds from Tori Amos versus versus the pain it is for a guy to spend $89 at the Toluca Lake
Choose
florist.
the right floor of the right bouquet.
So I'm just saying, guy coming home with flowers is cool, but the guy going, I was just buying a 6-pack and the Guatemalan chick caught me at the car when I was walking back out to the truck, and then I just gave her $20, and here you go, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't couch it that way, but what I'm saying is same thing, or is a lot less effort
we
involved?
in two different like places. Same. I'm like 59, so in the set like I went to college in 79 to 83, where it's kind of in that wave of sexual liberation. So now instead of the guy coming in the car and giving you the flowers and paying for dinner, it's like you have to go Dutch at the local macrobiotic restaurant. There are no flowers, and you have to sleep with him on the first date because otherwise you're frigid. And we had diaphragms. Gina, this is before your time.
I was going to say, so far, check,
plastic
check, and
cup
check.
that you dusted with cornstarch. In the morning, you had to lend him $20 for his poetry and take his sheaf of flyers to put up in the so there were no flowers. Even the it's $3.99 carnations would have been good. So where I grew up, Malibu Valley, Pasadena, there was nothing. Was it true? Did you get flowers?
No. And I think I hear you, and I think this is what, as a female, and Sandra, please let me know if you feel the same way.
I would have treated you better. Go ahead.
It's no longer about the flowers. It's about how they're wrapped. Because you can tell if they're from a nice place, from like, a beautiful like butcher paper with twine and like a little succulent, as opposed to like a crinkly plastic with a sticker on it, the barcode.
Totally.
Yeah. So just if you get the ones by Forest Lawn, pop off that plastic wrapping and, wrap a little twine around it.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Like
or brown paper.
Good. Yeah.
That's smart.
So you never got flowers, huh?
Yeah. Oh, no, never. No, we always had to lend them money, and then they would cry about their fathers. It's not a fun time and the maleness. That's like the Man Show, your important American contribution to the media landscape. It's they were not even, they would whine, and we had to pay for them, and it was just...
I think the moral of the story is both sexes, both directions. We were always kind of asking to meet in the middle, but I don't know. Do we really want that? I think when. I don't want it's all fucked out, but when you're laying in bed and you hear the window break at night, you don't want to just look at each other in bed with your man and go, "Who's going down?"
Rochambeau for
it. What the fucking guy? The guy would pick up a pool cue and go, "I'll take care of this. Lock the door behind me," or whatever.
And that's the thing. In our house, everyone does the dishes, everyone folds the laundry, but I saw a cockroach 2 nights ago that you could have put a saddle on. I freaked out. I screamed. I got on the bed, and I don't know what Andy's feelings are about cockroaches, and I don't want to know. I just want him to take care of it. If he's scared, he'll keep it to himself. I won't be doing that.
Yeah. Does he have a baseball bat? Some do the baseball bat. But
by the bed.
Yeah, they should have that.
Thank God taking care of insects is considered manly, because that's the one manly thing I do on the home.
I don't do that.
Well, also, any plumbing issues, any leaks,
I take care of that shit.
Look at you.
That's all.
I'm manlier than I look.
Big man.
I grabbed Daddy Longlegs by the leg because the girls are freaking out. My wife and my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter. I'm like, look. Oh, she freaked out. She hated it so much.
Yeah. You got an auger? You got a snake? You gonna snake that toilet?
I have installed a flushing mechanism, though.
Oh, ball cock.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. Not so much with the smart boards on refrigerators and stuff. You don't have to do that.
No, of course not. No actual technical
You leave that to the
knowledge.
experts.
Pinky board. Yeah.
So the show. Let's get back to the show. Sorry, the bitch is back. Hour 90. What's
Hour
our
20.
length?
Oh, no, 70 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
70. Yeah, straight through, no intermission. And it's like my journey through menopause. And then we say we're going to bar the doors because you can't leave. But it is like just talking about melting down in the middle of a woman's life. And it's interesting because I was driving in the valley when this happened. And I go at the intersection of Roscoe and Sherman Way. And then a man said later, there is no intersection of
They
Roscoe
run the
and Sherman
same
Way.
direction.
And I go, there was that day, you fucker. So that's how I remember it. It can be so many things happen while driving. And it was like this meltdown moment about age 46 where I'm like driving, going, I need to get the good pizza for my kids and listening to the radio on my Starbucks venti latte with 4 Splendas or whatever. And then suddenly I realized that I just couldn't handle it. It's like, I want to die. I don't want to live. And so that big hormonal change triggered this whole show. So it's interesting, women have so many different symptoms when they're menopausal, kind of bloated, angry, fat, forgetful, they can't sleep.
I'm going through menopause.
Yeah, exactly. And some women haven't slept through the night for years and years and years. And that sometimes in the middle of the afternoon, this seemed, generic to men and women. It's like sometimes the only thing that holds you together is There's Costco samples. But actually, I'll go to the audience and go, which store gives the best samples? On 3. And I'll go 1, and you go, Costco. Occasionally someone will go, Bristol Farms. It's like you're in the expensive seats. It's like, no, Costco. And that's what we miss is kind of like Costco. You could get the 4 stages of Costco by the massage chair and the jewelry cabinet. You could really get a full meal back in the day, which we don't have now.
Well, really, as I think about it, I don't spend a lot of time at the Costco, but Jimmy Kimmel does. He's made the cover of the magazine multiple times. Chris can show you. I think he's made the cover, Kirkland Gazette or whatever it is.
Kirkland Courier.
I have a Kirkland swimsuit. It's very nice.
Is that better than the Trader Joe's flyer?
Wow.
He's made the cover. He's made the cover.
Okay.
The point is, and I used to go to Costco with him and out here in like Van Nuys or Burbank or whatever.
There's one Sherman Oaks.
They're all good.
Here's the beauty. The beauty I've now realized of the samples. So I never really thought about the crazy allure of the samples.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about money because the shit they're selling, it's not a price issue per se for folks and adults in our bracket. They're selling quiche. It's $8. It's $8.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm getting free. I'm getting a nickel's worth of free quiche.
Right.
It's not that. It's the guilt in the eating of what you're eating because this is manslaughter, not murder one. You buy the quiche, you bring it home and you bake it. That's on you.
Right.
That's murder one. That is a big diet faux pas. You're walking past the quiche. That is the difference between you rolling someone and you finding a wallet.
Right.
And the reason you love Costco so much is because it's like, well, it's not, on my diet, but on the other hand, I didn't plan this. So I'm not getting... This is it's like you're sober and someone spiked your Pepsi or your Fresca or something. Like, I didn't do this.
You know what that's called?
Done to me.
That's called a free lapse in
Free
the
lapse,
program.
right.
This is a free lapse at Costco.
So you can eat as much fattening, junky stuff as you want.
Yeah.
It's not on you.
Yeah.
It doesn't count against you or your diet. And they come in such small pieces
They
that you can
do.
eat 14 of them
Right.
guilt-free. And I think that's the real allure
That's
to
smart.
it.
Right, and you go, I'm taking one for my kids.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
nowhere.
Who are in
But they're-
Arizona living with their stepmom.
And then you always have to, because you feel guilty, especially after the second or third, you take the item and then you just go put it behind the tires. You don't really buy it.
Speaking of which, the only place with better samples, the farmer's market.
Oh, yeah.
Not
Because
anymore.
Costco has any farmer's
Yeah.
market.
Really?
Because at Costco they have 4 or 5 or 6 stations.
Right.
Every single tent has a sample at the
That's
farmer's
true.
market.
But much more compelled to
Much
buy.
more pressure, yes.
Well, you're
Because
standing
that's
right
the
in front of
lesbian
them.
couple,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the Subaru broke
The
down on the
cheese.
way
That's
there,
right.
and this is kind of their living. You
Right.
know, you can't eat 4
That's a good
pieces
point.
of
No.
their cheese and keep walking,
No,
right?
please don't. We'll come back. We're on our way out.
What's your batting average on buying samples? Mine's pretty good. The only thing I'm comparing to is I went to the Ralph's. They had some smoked cheese. I tasted it. I went, this is good. I'll buy one.
Pumpkin ravioli. I'm sorry.
actually,
Yes, that's a good one.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Pretty good because I only sample things that I think I'm going to like. You know what I mean? So I'm more prone to buy them anyway. I'm not going to sample something I have no interest.
What can't pumpkin do, really? It does a pie. It does a ravioli.
Trader
Ravioli.
Joe.
But the worst
Does a
samples.
latte?
The worst. Trader Joe's. Obviously, the buckwheat pasta, the
Yeah,
unfiltered
you
apple
don't
juice.
want any of that shit.
Exactly. Too small.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff on a rye crisp.
Exactly.
We didn't ask for that.
No.
Maybe it's the age of the person dispatching the samples too. Trader Joe's, they skew young. They don't
and always in the
seem-
back corner.
I like these sort of last stop before the grave. Things didn't work out.
The hairnet.
Yeah, just to get out of the house.
I don't want to be. I'm not heading up. I'm heading down. This is where I'm going. I kind of
You
like
like
that.
that,
I
yeah.
want a little defeat in the eyes. A little, and I
More
also
enjoyable
kind of
for you.
like the take 2, take 5, take the
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
skillet. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm going to die.
I'm
on
getting paid
Tuesday.
either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Smart.
Yeah.
All right, so Trader Joe's not good.
Yeah.
Costco good.
Good.
Very good.
And then what was it?
Bristol Farms.
Bristol Farms.
That kind of thing.
That's amazing
And
if
then
somebody.
any
Farmer's market good,
Any
but
farmer's
the pressure's
market.
on. You know what I mean? Good luck looking that person in the eye and being like, oh, you dedicated your life to this cheese.
Right.
I'm out of here.
So it's an interesting time that we're living in that we sort of simultaneously have this birth of farmers markets and people shopping for you and bringing food to your groceries to your house, which is that's the two extremes of providing for yourself, right? But for some, and see, I always have this theory, which is I always kind of say, well, the more safe spaces we create, the more octagons we're going to have. And the more Priuses that drive around, the more Jeeps with lift kits we're going to see. Things give way.
Middle.
So the more people ordering groceries online, that will give way to more farmers markets because we always have to push back against this thing.
And you know who's going to save us all? People like me who I know for a fact I am not good enough for Instacart. I'm not good enough to spend to earmark that money that I work for and give it to someone else like some French queen and wait around binging TV having someone bring it to me. So people like me, we will
and you're always
sure.
going to be disappointed. Like, oh, you call us an avocado?
That's right.
I wish I was there. Well, then go the fuck there. Then put your fucking sweatpants on, you lazy sack, and go fucking shop like a human being then.
I didn't want
don't
sugar-cured ham. I would never.
I did Instacart exclusively during COVID. I was very sick and I couldn't go to the grocery store. And yes, there was so many times where I was like, the fuck? This is an apple? They fucking fruit.
Did they ever call or text you?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. I mean, at least
they're... Yeah. Can't find this. What about this?
Right.
Like, no, I asked for this.
I did it, and I got an extra bag of shit that wasn't mine.
Oh,
we did too.
Then I got angry at the person, like, what kind of toothpaste you're using? Like, it's my toothpaste now. Why did you get Tom's of Maine? Like, you should have known.
And of course,
it had toothpaste and deodorant in it, but it was both shit I didn't use. And I was like, what the fuck? This is an attack.
Wrong with you.
If the bag's undeliverable, they have to do something with it. So if someone offered us a bag, like, this bag's undeliverable, do you want it? And we're like, sure. And like, we actually had the thought, we're like, do we want someone else's romaine lettuce? It's like, well, it was in the store 10 minutes ago. Why not?
Yeah, I had this happen once when I ordered Thai food and they brought over the wrong Thai food. And my thing was, well, as long as they ordered shit I would have liked anyway, I'm definitely going to eat it.
Absolutely.
And I opened it up, and it was the first one was beef salad, like cold beef salad. I was like,
I've never even heard of that.
Orders this? And I was immediately angry at the person who ordered cold beef salad.
Never heard of beef salad.
Oh, it's here. It's let me believe you me.
Okay,
people eat beef salad. I don't get the.
Like, was it larb?
It's sliced up cold beef amongst lettuce and whatever.
Well,
it's a thing.
If you're on Atkins, which unfortunately I am because of the COVID-19, the pandemic, it's like whatever. That's exactly what we would eat.
A beef
sadly,
salad.
A beef
but
salad.
It feels like, to me, I want savory with my beef, and the cold beef removes the savory part of it. All right. Well, you're going to hang around, Sandra, and do the news with us? All right. Why don't we do that? We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and do the news.
Great. And then I have gifts for you.
Oh, you have gifts? Okay.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gino Grad. Breaking viral. Weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gino Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden. Kamala. Meet news with Gino Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, first, before we get into it, let's do the breaking news that there are gifts for us.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here. Gifts for you. Okay, these are post-pandemic gifts as I move conveniently away from the mic. Okay. So here it is.
My goodness.
So you're each getting this in your own COVID-safe curbside pickup bag. Because in my book came out like last year's, I did COVID-safe signings in my fucking driveway. So you're getting this.
That
so
is
in
amazing.
this bag is this is actually for Adam. So
perfect.
This is your Madwoman the Volvo wine glass. Except that I've augmented it to have the Mangria.
Oh, thank you.
So on the back there's a lower level that is Dr. Oz recommends. And then Weight Watchers 3 points.
Sure.
And then up here's Madwoman. But way above that is the Mangria.
Oh, you're going to get
thank
so
you.
That's
Do you send that to a professional calligrapher or an engraver?
Yeah, I know. Isn't it amazing?
It is amazing.
And you might want to wash it because
he doesn't care.
Nice.
He's never washed anything.
And then here is taped together. Here's some. These are going away, but these are the quarantini cocktail recipes.
That's great.
Where you just pour shit together.
Now,
like
I want
dusty
to
creme
say
de
I want
menthe.
to compliment your glass because I'm having a flashback. So it's a glass. It's kind of a tumbler.
Yeah.
It's like
Stemless.
Stemless
tumbler.
unbreakable.
It's about 7-8 ounces.
Yeah.
And it's got the lines on it. The low line is the Dr. Oz recommends.
Yeah.
We talked about just a little splash of wine or scotch or whatever. Above that's the Weight Watchers and then the Mad Woman. Of course, near the top, because I'm having a flashback when I was young and we were living in our first apartment. We had a shot glass, and at the bottom, there was a line about a half inch from the bottom of the shot glass said hog, and then one up about an inch and a half and said man. And so we would have to pour ourselves shots, and nobody wanted the hog pour. We wanted the man pour. But I've not seen a glass graduated
There you
that
have
way.
it. Now you have it. Now each of
Sorry.
you have, and you get a glass, and in there there's a lighter.
So
it's
nice.
Mr. Lowe's not afraid to be naked. It's a Malibu thing of a lighter. If you look at it, it's my dad.
Naked.
He was known as the naked man of Malibu, so he would do handstands naked in Malibu as Ally McGraw was speeding by. He would steal women's Speedos out of the dumpster and hitchhike on Pacific Coast Highway. Did not get beat like Ben Vereen, did not get hit, but et cetera. So you have that lighter.
Now I want to
should
talk
be in there.
about your dad.
Okay. So you see that light? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, let me say this in
Okay.
defense of your dad. No one wants to see their parent doing a nude headstand or
no,
handstand.
not that much.
But a diminutive Asian man is about the best place you're going to land for that.
Yeah.
Having a
Probably has to be
husky
done.
Armenian guy, that's much more damaging. Big psyche, big picture,
Yeah,
long
but my
term.
father is in a women's Speedo.
And for
in
motorists.
there, the bottom part.
Yeah.
So that's a little
Wow.
upsetting. So now, okay, in the pandemic, it's kind of like, so women of a certain age, like after the age of 50, Gina, you have many years to go. Instead of
bless you.
becoming fatter, we become more goddess-like.
Oh.
So in the pandemic, there have been, elastic waist stretch pants. They're not
Yes.
fat pants, but I'm calling them goddess pants. I'm wearing some.
They're great.
That's great.
Love,
Right?
love them.
No, it's nice.
So you each are getting a pair.
All right.
Okay, and you can pick your own color. See, I came with
I'm
it.
really
So here,
more
you
excited about this than I
You
should
can
be.
get the women's colors are midnight purple, emerald green, turquoise isles. See,
Oh,
that's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
and then rocky horror magenta for
Oh,
the hit
Adam wants
girls, and then firefly red.
That's amazing.
Or you can get the man's colors, which are purple haze,
Same pants.
electric moss.
Yep.
Ooh,
Okay.
yeah,
Don't
now
got
I
any
like
ideas
that.
out of
I like the Aquaman
Yep.
Ooh.
or
Good.
the Iceman cometh.
Well, I'm
right?
a summer, so
Yeah.
These are Hef,
Yeah,
the Hef,
The
and
Hefner.
these are the Dragon.
that's
I'll
great.
go with the dragon.
Okay,
I'm a
so you're
dragon.
getting the
Fantastic.
Dragon. Gina, you're going to take the.
I mean, I love a good pink pant.
Okay, so you're going with
Thank
the
you.
Rocky Horror Magenta. And Brian,
Oh my gosh, I got all
you're
those.
very
He's not
comfortable
kidding.
with. No, you get
Ah.
one. You're
No, I
comfortable with
know,
your
I know.
masculinity.
Green or blue, either one.
Okay, so you're emerald green
Yeah, green.
or
This is
electric
fantastic.
moss to match.
nice.
Okay,
Thank
there you
you.
go. You've been swagged.
Thank you.
Okay,
this
that's
is
the news.
amazing.
Okay.
I don't. I want to put these on right now.
Speaking of
Yeah.
breaking news, Gene Hackman was struck by a car in the Florida Keys in 2012.
Wow, that is breaking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's just in.
So, thank you so
Sandra.
much.
My pleasure.
Let's do a little update on the guy who slapped Macron.
By the way,
Yeah.
Sandra, I've just come out with a candle.
Yeah.
It's a
Forgetting
candle
it.
that smells like my balls.
Oh, can I
and
have
I'd
that?
like to present it
Oh,
to you.
because I want to smell
think-
your balls.
Not bad.
Oh,
pretty-
Because remember when
pretty
Gwyneth
good.
Paltrow had "This Smells Like My Vagina"?
Yeah.
Well, now
yeah.
It's
little
nice.
Soapy balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty well.
Nice.
It's a stage name.
Vanilla.
It's
Yeah.
a quality candle as well. It'll burn long and bright for you.
Oh.
Yep.
By the way, available at adamcarolla.com for Father's Day.
So the guy who slapped Macron, he has been charged.
Hold on, let's use
Yeah.
your dad's naked likeness to light
Oh,
my
that's a
balls
great
candle.
Yeah,
I think,
that
I
would be
think-
so special.
I think this has come
That's,
full circle.
oh my
Nice
God, his
ambiance.
balls and
This is beautiful.
and he died at
A u-
97. Old balls.
This is a unity candle now.
Oh my God.
I feel like we should dedicate an entire episode to your father.
Yeah. Well, there's the colors. Yeah.
That's
Colors
lovely.
on that, yeah.
Put it out. Turn the
Oh, and he
Smells really
dumpster
good.
dove in Malibu. Expired sushi.
You guys could have hung.
Yeah.
Expired sushi.
Expired
That was his
gently,
nickname.
not long,
Right.
but somewhat. And Starbucks pull the Starbucks together of other people's things at the Malibu Starbucks.
Wow.
Back to you, Gina. I'm sorry.
I want to know more
My
about
father
your
is
dad.
overtaking as usual.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I mean, let's do this if we have to. Yeah. So the man who was caught on video slapping Emmanuel Macron across the face earlier this week has been handed a 4-month prison sentence. In an emergency trial, 28-year-old Damien Terrell was found guilty of violence against a person invested with public authority following the incident. Macron was conducting this meet and greet with members of the public, and Terrell kind of smacked him in the face. Why did he do it? Terrell told the court, "When I saw his friendly, lying look, I felt disgust and I had a violent reaction."
He was inspired.
It was an impulsive reaction. I was surprised by myself. Now, apparently, there was a group of friends considering bringing an egg or cream pie to throw at the president, but he didn't. Instead, he just smacked him.
We haven't seen the cream pie guy in a while. Remember that was a thing for a little while?
What was the thing on like sitcoms? Was it
no,
real?
there was somebody was doing it to dignitaries. We have a weird thing. We have a thing with like pit bulls attack for like 7 months and then they lay off for 20 years.
I don't hear about it.
There's freeway shootings at work for like 3 weeks and then they go away for 20 years. Like
they're back.
Oh, they're back. Right. The cream pie in the face.
I think Zuckerberg got pied. Maybe it was like famous rich people.
People were getting
Bezos,
pied.
Maybe?
Yeah.
We should bring that back. Get comfortable, please.
Yeah, I'm trying to. You know, and
Yeah,
now that Trump is gone, it's great that Canada is scandalous again.
Right?
Make Canada scandalous.
Yeah. So remember, again, it can't be. It's not just you. These chairs are spring loaded.
That is like a pie in the face thing.
So remember how we kind of said it's a slippery slope with the vaccine cards and, there's ways around that. Well, guess what? The new problem is that, so Fox News reports that a Nevada man was charged Wednesday with stealing hundreds of blank COVID-19 vaccine cards from a Southern California vaccination center. Mohammed Rauf Ahmed of Vegas allegedly took more than 500 cards from the Pomona Fairplex. The former LA city contract worker was charged with 1 felony count of grand theft, and he's scheduled to be arraigned in LA County in August. The case remains under investigation. But okay, so you just steal blank cards. Okay, now you're vaccinated.
It feels like a target of opportunity, like someone left it out and he was just walking by. But if we can steal, no, I would not. But
yeah,
there was several years ago, not too many, when the price of copper got really expensive. And people were stealing copper wire, like going outside at night and pulling conduit apart, like pulling it. It was at that point I realized, we can do anything. We're stealing wiring.
Right.
You know what I mean? What purses, vaccine cards, what's not on the table when we're pulling wiring out of conduit, like out in the street at night, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we're capable of anything.
I think you're right. It smells so good in here.
It does smell good.
We have a little follow-up to the Lilibet scandal.
Oh, God.
So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are threatening the BBC after the network reported that the former royals didn't ask the Queen's blessing to name their infant Lilibet. We talked about that. According to the BBC, a Buckingham Palace source claims Queen Elizabeth was never asked about it. Now, according to the Daily Beast, Harry and Meghan's legal team has issued a rare legal warning to the papers advising them not to repeat the allegation that the couple had named their second child after Queen Elizabeth.
By the way, as far as the legal team you want to be on, that's the legal team, not the Project Innocence now working in the Dade County area. You know what I mean? That's a full-blown bummer for attorneys. You know what I mean? You want to be on the Royals legal.
The Queen didn't give her permission to use her nickname as a first name.
Right. Was that wig really powdered or just a wig?
I think you're absolutely right.
You call that a curtsy? I'll sue your ass. That's the team to be on.
Yes.
Food's excellent.
Lifting.
Travel's great.
Yeah.
Plenty of perks. You know, you stay in the East Wing of Buckingham Palace. We'll have you on retainer. You know. That's a sweet
That's a
lawyer
great
gig.
You're right
there.
Oh, and by the way, I sent this story to Brian earlier. You know who's on team? Who's the other one? William.
Well,
the other prince.
The anti-Harry.
Anti-Harry is it Noel?
It's Noel.
Noel Gallagher. Brian, I sent it to you. What did it
The
say?
headline was something to the effect of Noel Gallagher calls Harry entitled snowflake or something.
Because he's like, I know what it's like when a brother gets in the middle of family business and starts blowing up your shit all over the place and fuck that guy. And so, apparently Noel and Liam's bad blood is still raging.
So
dark days.
Now, this was the controversy about Lilibet or whatever.
Yeah.
That was the Queen's nickname. She
Right.
didn't give
But she
permission.
couldn't say
Is that an
Elizabeth.
homage to her?
Yeah, you'd think so. But if it's like but if it was a private joke in the family and the queen is supposed to be the most, dignified human on the planet, maybe she's not down.
So, but the kerfuffle is they should have asked.
I
Is that
guess.
what they're saying?
How long are we going to keep these MFers in the news? It's unbelievable.
It's a great question.
That's what I'm saying. These are headlines. These are headlines.
I don't know. I agree. But I think we like it because our news is like the 6-year-old was shot in the back through the baby seat in Pomona on her way to preschool. And then we got, did she use her fake name or
You're
not?
right.
You know,
it's a much needed and welcome distraction.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of which, David Hasselhoff recently appeared in a video encouraging Germans to get vaccinated.
Speaking of royalty.
And I have 2 clips. These are both going to be a double barrel goodness. The PSA was released on Monday and includes a 68-year-old Baywatch alum showing off his Band-Aid and giving a little speech. Here's his little video to the Germans.
Action. Air medal. Oh, that's right. I, David Hasselhoff, am supposedly a hero because of Baywatch and Knight Rider and the Berlin Wall. But I found freedom with vaccination. You can too.
What is he talking about, you ask? Well, I did a little digging.
He did that concert moments before the Berlin Wall fell.
I'm going to give a preemptive you're welcome for unearthing this video. So he did this giant German festival concert, and his performance was a song called Looking for Freedom while being suspended above the Berlin Wall on New Year's Eve in 1989.
Oh.
Here's a clip of that concert it's like dessert. It's a palate cleanser.
One morning into
Look at that jacket.
Look, check out the chaser lights on that jacket. He's just warming up. It kicks. It kicks in.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, I do. I'm starting to look for my exit country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he has his.
And
Jerry
also,
Lewis
what
had
I've kind of realized, we talked about Seagal in Russia, and we got Dennis Rodman in North Korea. I'm getting to that point in my career where I'm looking for an exit country.
Yeah.
And no one ever checks up. You know, I just go, I'm huge in Croatia.
That's right.
I'm fucking huge. They fucking love me. No one goes, well, let me go there. Let me investigate this. They just go, Carolla's huge in Croatia. Big in Croatia. Where is he? He's in Croatia.
Yeah.
I got a nominee for you. Hungary.
Hungary.
First
Good.
Who's the most famous Hungarian? No one knows.
Nobody knows.
Second, the food.
Yeah, he loves Hungarian.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to knock off the Gabor sisters, but I will podium over there in Hungary.
But Croatia is.
I know the food.
Croatia's supposed to be the new honeymoon destination spot.
Is it? All right, then I'll go to Budapest.
Yeah.
And I'll explain that I'm huge, and then no one will be able to verify
You have to call it Budapest.
Budapest.
But, Hasselhoff, he's unkillable. It's like he was, in Baywatch, he was already old. He was like 50. And he knew to surround himself with young people on the rubber. Yeah, so he's amazing.
Oh, he knows what he's doing.
He's a survivor.
Totally
He knows what he's doing. Don't kid yourself.
He's a pro.
He's a pro.
You know what? But he also wanted to do Rocky Horror in fishnets and heels. So, that might be the next move. Like the whole.
He did?
Yes. He's always. I interviewed him for Buzz Magazine a long time ago.
You made a Caitlyn Jenner face.
Yeah. Could that
I
watch
saw
for
that
that?
face.
Watch for that.
I never thought about that.
Think about it.
I would fall in love with him all over again.
It's time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of this, speaking of things I have fallen in love with, Jessica Chastain is making a new movie that has everybody buzzing, and by everybody, I mean me. Tammy Faye Baker in the upcoming movie, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It's due in theaters September 17th, just in time for the launch of award season. The movie features the Oscar-nominated actress as the former televangelist and TV personality Tammy Faye Baker, directed by Michael Showalter of The State. And also, there's a doc, which I highly recommend, of the same name, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. You've seen it?
Yeah. Sundance many years
And guess who is playing Jim Baker? Andrew Garfield.
From
Spider-Man. Yeah, and it kind of works. I'll show you. Here's a side-by-side of the original, the real Jim and Tammy Faye. And
wow.
Yeah, look at that.
That's good.
Exactly.
The eyes.
And look at like her jaw and everything.
That's Chastain on the left?
That's Chastain.
Wow, that's some heavy makeup.
Yeah, a lot in prosthetics. You can kind of tell around the jaw. Yeah, so that is going to that'll be in theaters in September.
Showalter did The Big Sick. He directed The Big Sick.
He did?
Which
I
is
like
really,
that movie.
really good.
Yeah.
He directed that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, after the whole behind the candelabra thing, you can never say no to anything that you hear about in advance because of what? No, Matt Damon, get the fuck out of it. Oh, it's my favorite film of the year.
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
Michael Douglas.
With that in mind, you can't say no in advance to any idea for any film ever or the casting of it.
Yep, you're
the
absolutely
Tanya Harding
right.
movie was fantastic.
That's right.
This just the trailer alone. It's funny that you said that because this kind of has that feel a little bit, a little winky, a little tongue
You
in
kind of have
cheek.
to though with this subject matter. You know what I mean? You can't play it serious.
Yeah. So very excited about that. Are you familiar? I'm sure Sandra, you're very things. For the rest of you, are you familiar with ambergris? Do you know what that is?
Whales.
I love her. She was great in I,
whale
Tonya.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whales is stuff that comes out of
Amber.
whales.
I thought
Moby
it
Dick.
was called ambergris.
Well, it has an
thing.
S, but I think it's pronounced ambergris.
Yeah.
It was like French or something.
Yeah. So
Like Pinot Gris.
I saw Master and Commander a few times. I think I know what ambergris is.
okay,
This
I
is a
stand
scary
corrected.
opening.
But
of the-
I think it was
There's
in
an
that.
S. You do say the
There
yes.
no. I'm going to default to Sandra on this one.
Wait, what's the question?
Do you say ambergris?
I think it's ambergris.
Yeah, I think it's ambergris too.
I think.
This show
What's
goes no
the
further
S
until we
doing
figure
there?
this out. I thought it was French. and-
So would it be is peanut butter cups or
yes.
Reese's?
Well, we say Le Mans, not Le Mans.
I only know it from watching the Ron Howard Moby Dick movie, maybe.
Yeah, but they're old timey.
Well, I'm going off of how old timey guys send it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm familiar with what you say.
Okay,
so how
good.
is it pronounced?
So I'm just going to keep calling it ambergris. Like I said, we say Le Mans. We don't say Le Mans.
How does it? What is the dictionary one?
Ambergris. Ambergris. Well, one's you can do it either way because look, they're giving you two pronunciations.
And you don't want to push Gina. You may snap.
I'm very close to pre-menopause.
Ambergris.
Fine.
Oh my God, no.
Oh,
no.
I'll say it the way the
argue with
settlers
robot
said
lady.
it.
No.
Whatever.
Google me right.
A 35-man fishing crew working off Yemen netted this find of a lifetime. They hauled in $1.5 million worth of whale vomit, which is what ambergris is, according to Yahoo News. It's
ambergris.
Yahoo News.
Let's hear the robot say it.
You're gonna believe a robot over me and Sandra. Whatever.
All right.
Ambergris. I hate you guys.
Ambergris.
Okay, great, fine.
Yeah,
anyway,
no,
it's
that's
a
wrong.
substance found in the digestive system of sperm whales. According to the UK's Natural History Museum, the substance is often called the treasure of the sea and floating gold because it's super rare. It's used in high-end perfumes to make the scent last longer. And when the fishing crew
Hold on, labia or labia?
Obviously labia.
Yeah.
Okay, just trying to know how far out you guys are. That's all.
Well, that's you're dangerously close to a Seinfeld joke. Remember the
the
woman's
name?
body part?
Yeah.
Dolores.
Dolores.
Is it clitoris or clitoris?
I will tell you, I got into a very heated argument with my grandmother.
Oh God.
Now, my grandmother is like Brian's grandmother.
Mean.
She's mean, and part of mean is correcting everyone around them all the time. And we got into an argument because I said clitoris, and she's like clitoris. And then
Why are you saying that in front of your grandma?
We had a very strange relationship.
Yeah. Oh.
And then we went to my deceased grandfather's oversized dictionary to go look it up and see if we got in a big argument at our house. And then, now here's why my grandma's a bitch, because I remember this very clearly. She would say, she would go, Emery Kenerick is a doctor, and he says clitoris. And I would go, well, Dr. Drew is a doctor, and he says clitoris, and she'd go, Emery Kenrick's a doctor. Like somehow her doctor friends
was more of a doctor.
Right.
Somehow I couldn't have doctor friends, or mine were like, Dr. Pepper or something. Like she's got real doctor friends,
Right.
you know.
So did we ever figure that out?
We went and looked it up.
And?
Either way.
Ambergris?
Not like
Did she claim
ambergris.
victory?
Yeah.
Did she claim victory even after you looked it up? Is it both ways?
She knows what she knows. She knew what she knew. She walked away with her head held high.
My grandma did that all the time, the fucking correcting. And speaking of the sea, I was like, oh, Grandma, you talk about Disneyland. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. She goes, it's Caribbean.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, Grandma.
Yes.
You don't know what ride you were on.
I think if you look up clitoris, it just goes either way.
Pick your poison.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, by the way, we don't need a fucking dictionary to have us flip a coin. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you
Settle it.
fucking settle
Right.
it. That's
Yeah.
We're having an argument here.
Right.
This is however you want to do it.
Whatever. It's all on the
What
table.
do we need you for?
Thank you. You're right.
If you have to ask.
Right.
Yeah.
So this fishing crew took this whale apart that they got in this net, and it was a 280-pound lump of ambergris in its belly. Now, do you want to know how this is formed? Because this is fascinating and disgusting. Scientists believe that the rare substance is produced because of the huge volume of cephalopods like squid and octopus that sperm whales consume. The whales are unable to digest the sharp beaks of these cephalopods, and on rare occasion, the mass of squid beaks and other biological material may be combined with a waxy secretion from the intestines, and that's how it's formed.
Good name for GSV, squid beak.
Oh, boy.
Connotes a lot of things.
Talk about a rich man, poor man. Ambergris is for, high-end perfumes. Do you know what is for, I guess, low-end perfumes that they use to make the scent stay on longer?
Mm-mm.
Cat pee.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, no.
They mix in like a small percentage of like foul-smelling stuff, right? Into perfumes.
Yeah.
It's it.
Not
really
since
sticks with
I
ya.
learned what Premarin was named after.
Horse pee.
Pregnant
horse pee.
Horse urine.
Yeah.
Not since then have I been so disgusted at a revelation, Gina.
I'm sorry.
All right, let's do one more.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, well, this is just if anyone's...
Chris, what happened with Lee Marvin's divorce? I want some follow-up.
Some ambergris.
I want to know if he lost, if he
Lee
won.
Marvin's ambergris.
Does Gene Hackman have tread on his back?
Lee Marvin, did he lose money? Did he have to cut a check? Is it a precedent? Did he start this whole palimony thing?
Marvin's Law?
Mm-hmm.
According to Wikipedia, is the first notable case.
Yeah.
And the people call Marvin settlements after that.
There you go.
Oh.
That's what I read.
That's what I'm saying. He had to
Malibu.
Fuck
have,
right
or
up.
he had to have lost for it to become
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while he's looking for that, after being canceled in 2020 due to coronavirus, the Philly Naked Bike Ride is scheduled for this year on August 28th. People in Philadelphia hop on their
that
bikes.
Is bad Philly weather for
Yeah.
naked cycling.
Very
Your
new-
fucking
steamy.
dad would have been the
Oh,
belle
the
of that
leader.
ball.
They ride around naked, promote body positivity, cycling safety, and promote the use of bikes instead of cars. Riders are expected to be naked, but they do have to wear masks.
Well, we'll say this. If you are, in fact, naked on a mountain bike, you will practice safety.
That's right.
If you're padded up, helmet and jock strap.
You
and-
take a lot of chances.
Yeah, but there's a lot of wheelies with that. When
Yeah.
your nuts are getting tangled to
Slow
spokes,
and
like
steady.
it's lots of hand signals, lots of slow
Thank
it down.
you. A lot of bells.
Yeah, it kind of keeps you honest.
I think you're absolutely right.
I like that. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad.
Hold on.
And that's the news.
I can't take this anymore.
Gina
That was the news with Gina Grad.
All right, what did we find out about Lee Marvin?
All
He
right,
lost?
so he was ordered to pay his girlfriend Michelle Carolla, who actually who changed her last name to Marvin, so it was actually Marvin v. Marvin, $104,000 for rehabilitation purposes, but the court denied her community property claim for one half of the $3.6 million which Marvin had earned during their 6 years of cohabitation, and the result was the landmark palimony case. So this is what
She
pioneered
went for it.
the
I
concept.
knew there was something there. All right, let me tell you about Scott'sCheapFlights.com. Scott's Cheap Flights. Travel the world and never pay full price again. People pay way too much for flights. Prices go up, they go down by hundreds of dollars, even in the same day. So you could pay a different price than the person next to you on the exact same flight. They combine technology with a team of flight experts to monitor thousands of routes on major airlines all day, every day. When prices drop, They send members an email, and they send them an alert so they'll never miss an amazing deal like to Europe or Japan for less than $300 round trip on quality airlines, no less. No kickbacks from airlines. Their only goal is to send their members great deals. It's Scott's Cheap Flights, right, Dawson?
Join for free at scottscheapflights.com/Adam and never overpay for flights again. Again, join for free at scottscheapflights.com/Adam. scottscheapflights.com/Adam.
All right, Sandra, this has been delightful. Thank you for the generous gifts.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And I love your podcast. And I was listening to the one with Jack Tapper.
Oh, yeah.
The Bar Rescue. I'm obsessed with that show. That was really fascinating.
Yeah, he's lived a life.
Oh, my
Taffer,
God.
yeah.
Taffer, that's right.
Taffer.
Yeah, listen.
There's Taffers and Tappers
ambergris
in the zeitgeist right now.
Oh, my God.
Clitoris.
Let's call the whole thing off.
Call the whole thing off.
Okay, so this is...
Oh, we got more gifts?
No, this is for you.
Thank
so you get the full...
Oh, my
Santa
God.
Claus.
And then you also get the full...
I'm going to give
putting
you
my pants
I'm
in
going to
here.
give you a plug on the way out. Sandra Tsing Low, The Bitch is back, streaming on demand June 23rd and June 30th. Golden, Colorado, me doing stand-up and us doing a podcast coming up June 18th, 19th. Go down to Carolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, this is Adam for Sandra and Gina and Bald saying mahalo.
So I guess I have to fuck him.